and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. Short session, well, I say short, depends how fast I run it, doesn't it, I suppose. First session of training for the South Downs Way 100. South Downs Way 100 is a 100-mile race across the South Downs Way. That's why it's called the South Downs Way 100. It's normally in June every year. This year it is in November, so I think it's November the 7th. This is not a meet-up, Marcus. No, it's not a meet-up. I'm just doing it myself. Come on, why is my heart rate not connecting? So so this is the first session where I am attempting to do some incline. You might remember that if you watched my sessions early in the year, in January and February, I did some incline sessions in the mornings in training for Trans Gran Canaria. So we're going to do that again 2 or 3 mornings a week for the next 8 weeks while we train for the South Downs Way. I'm waiting for heart rate and it's not connecting for some reason. Why that is, I don't know. Let me just waggle it over here a bit. I've got amp plus heart rate, but I don't want amp plus heart rate. I want Bluetooth heart rate. And it's annoying that I haven't got it. So I might have to do with amp plus heart rate, I suppose. That'll do. Okay. Right. So we whack the elevation of the treadmill, the incline of the treadmill. We whack it up to 12%. And we'll start walking. Just, oh, don't tell me the treadmill's not going to work now. Come on. What's going on? Why does this, why? Right, stop. Right, we're going to be here a while, aren't we now, sorting all this out again. Pair. So these are your problems when you connect to Zwift. Always make sure that you have your treadmill or your foot pod connected and working, so that if you're in a race, you're not going to be left stood on the start line. Right, what? There's no. Right, I'm going to have to start. Okay, so what we do here is we just say, forget all that, completely restart the computer from scratch. There's no other way for it, I've found. I might just turn the treadmill off and on again as well, just to be sure. Actually, yeah, no, I will. Okay, treadmill off and on. Ryan Downey says the suspense is killing me. Treadmill off and on, computer off and on. So let's just wait for the computer to load up again. It'll take 2 or 3 minutes for it to load up, and then we will eventually get going. So I've got my welcome screen for Windows now. You won't get that for a couple of minutes yet, or a minute or so. And it'll automatically start. So I don't have to touch anything. Look, hands free. And Zwift, completely, everything starts automatically. I've got it all programmed, so it all starts by itself. Right, there we are. So now you can see my computer screen. And there's the loading screen for Zwift. And pressing the, look, hands-free, pressing the Let's Go button. There we go. And now all my little programs will start that help me to get, see all that, the ride-ons given and the latest ride-on stats, and also the titles at the top. So where it says Park to Peak at the top there, all that information is taken from the Zwift log file. And all these little programs you can see flashing up now, they are all programs that help me to do that. While we wait, may I ask who's doing the laundry? Victoria has some stuff on the line that has been there for a day now because it's poured with rain for the past 24 hours. So that washing hasn't had a chance to dry. How do you keep a white hat white? Are you saying my white hat isn't white? Right, here we go. Let's press. Are we going to New York? Yeah, we're going to do Park to Peak on New York. And we'll load up New York and we'll hopefully get going. Sen Studio says, yes, the live stream problem. Always the same, Sen, always the same. Oh, all right, maybe we're not in New York. Oh, we can't possibly go on the flattest route there is. Yaspal, hello. I can't possibly go on the flattest route. Right, I'll just have to turn round. Never mind. Okay, build your own. So 4 kilometres will do us fine. I think we're all right. Let's go. Heart rate is there. We got anything going on? Movement here? Yes. Okay. Right. Let's whack it up to 12%. Ryan Downey says, no, my white hat isn't white and I want it white again. I don't know, don't you just put it in bleach or something? Don't ask me about stuff like that, I've no idea. You just talk to Victoria, she knows. Right, now we want to turn round. So, do that. We're only doing 4 kilometres, but we're doing it at full elevation, so 12% elevation. But I want to turn round now. Let's get that up. Am I going to turn round? Oh, do I need the camera angles off? Maybe I do. Right, pause the camera angle script.
You suck!
I know. So we have started. Right, there we go. Right, we're not going that fast just yet. So unfortunately, my avatar will walk for a little while. Yes, Ant Plus is the heart rate at the moment. Shall I try and connect it to Bluetooth? Let me have a look, hang on. Menu, pair. Yeah, we're on. Right, there's the Phoenix. Do you know, I still can't get used to calling it a Phoenix. Always call it a Phoenix for some reason. Still not connected. There we are. Now we're connected. Okay. So Bluetooth heart rate, Bluetooth treadmill, and we're doing 4 kilometres at full elevation, full incline at 12%. But we are on the flattest course there is, which is the desert course. But I've turned around, and hopefully I'll be able to go into the forest in a minute. We'll just see what happens. Put the camera angles back on. The reason I'm on a bit earlier is because I am going out with my club tonight. So I've got another hill session tonight, but tonight's hill session is a speed hill session. So I'll be trying to climb hills, low hills, as fast as I can. Stephen Smith says good evening. Right, Victoria says, Ryan, add a dishwasher tablet in your washing machine. What? A dishwasher tablet? Weird. Okay, heart rate is already 150, so that's no good, is it? I want to be as low heart rate as possible. We're just going to keep it nice and easy for the first kilometre or so. Clive Finnemore says, just ran my first 10k on the new treadmill. Fantastic. And how was it, Clive? Do you like it? Tell me again. I'm sure you've told me already, but what kind of treadmill is it? Right, we're going to Titans Grove, look. So there's the... Alright, hang on a second. Need to make sure we do go to Titans Grove, so press that button. Well, why would you put a dishwasher tablet in the washing machine? That's not very domestic, is it? That's just madness. She'll be putting the dishes in the washing machine next. Okay, so there you can see 12% treadmill incline. And over this side you can see the speed I'm going, which is only 5.5 kilometres per hour. We're slowly approaching Titans Grove, so a bit more interesting than running in the desert. There's the turning coming up. Just keep pressing the button to make sure I go left. Clive Finnemore says his treadmill was awesome. Good stuff, Clive. So we're not going to get far enough into Titans Grove to see the dinosaurs or to go down the trail route. But nevertheless, it's a prettier route. Marcus Holmes is with me. Marcus, are you going to put incline on the treadmill? I'm at 12%, buddy. So get that incline up, you. He just wants to get on TV, doesn't he? Right, we're going for 500 metres of climb. So if you look at the Zwift screen there, you'll see I've currently done 56 metres of incline, so 450 metres left to do. So Clive has a Reebok 1 GT40S, and Clive, does that connect directly to Zwift, or do you need a foot pod for it? Okay, Marcus says he's planning on running circles around me all day. Well, I'll only be here for half an hour, but for half an hour you're more than welcome to run circles around me. By all means. Right, heart rate is 161, and that's probably because I'm talking too much. But we are on full elevation, so it probably will be a little bit more than an easy coast, that's for sure. But it's certainly not going to be a really hard effort. I will try and do a bit more of a hard effort this evening, outdoors, and you'll be able to tell how hard my effort is by looking at my heart rate data on Strava later. I've just realised I haven't put my Stride foot pod on, have I? Let me do that. Hang on 2 seconds. Right, I'm just going to get the foot pod. Okay, the foot pod is on. So now I need to go to the pairing screen, see if I can get this to work, at the risk of breaking everything else. Ride screen, power source. There we are, power. Let's just unpair it and repair it to make sure it is there. And what we want is the we want the Ant Plus Stride power, as long as that's the correct one. So I've got two Stride foot pods. I think it's that one. So we'll press OK, and then we'll go back to there. Click OK. Back. Right, now we'll go back up to 12%. And increase the speed again. So what that will do is that will record my elevation, record my power data onto Strava. But obviously we'll have missed the first half a kilometre, so it's only going to be 4.5 kilometres worth of power data, 3.5 kilometres worth of power data. But nevertheless, it's nice to have. Right, back on it. So 12% elevation, 5.5 kilometres per hour, but we will increase it to 6 kilometres an hour at the end of this kilometre, so 400 metres to go. Clive Finnemore is running his cadence and heart rate from the Phoenix 6 watch. At the moment I'm using an app called Treadmill Smart Speed, which tells Zwift the speed my treadmill is running. Okay, so you're not using a foot pod, you're using the TSS app. Yeah, I know the app. Yeah, it'd be really good if you can get yourself a foot pod. I know that a lot of people do like the TSS app because it's basically dead simple. You just set the speed and you go. Problem being, of course, if you do change speeds regularly on the treadmill, then you need to continually press the button on the TSS app to change the speed on there as well. If you're just running one long run at exactly the same speed all the time, then it's a great app to have. Right, Marcus Holmes has already done twice the distance I have so far. I've done 93 metres currently of climb. And in 200 metres we'll increase the pace. Here comes Marcus again. Look, yeah, twice the distance he's done. Scalco from the USA. Hello to you. Right, coming up on 100 metres climbed. There we go. 100 metres of elevation done. Another 400 to do. Heart rate 164. Ideally, I'd like it to be lower than that. I'd like to be right down in the 150s, but nevertheless, that's just the way it is. Because you can't pick the Alp, Ryan, can you? You can't. Well, what I meant to do was pick Park to Peak in New York. That's where I was going to run. But I didn't pay attention when I logged back on again, and I ended up on the desert route. But how can you, without messing about with the companion app and clicking on somebody who's at the foot of the Alp, you can't just spawn at the foot of the Alp, can you? The only other thing I could have done was done the Von Top by doing the world hack. Okay, back to increase the pace now. Up to 6 kilometres per hour. So slightly faster. 3 kilometres left to do. Ryan Downey says you could have just got on your bike, ridden 5k like a good boy and then climb. I could have done that. You're quite correct. I could have just got on the bike, cycled to the foot of the Alp, got off the bike, and darn well ran up the Alp properly. Yeah. But do you know what though, Ryan? I'm not that bothered. It's too much like hard work. It doesn't really bug me that much. I know it really bugs a lot of people if they're running uphill on the treadmill, but they're not running uphill on Zwift. Marcus is going to drive me mad, isn't he? He literally is going round and round in circles. It's good to have the company. Clive Finnemore says, would you recommend the Zwift Foot Pod or another brand? Well, if I'm honest, Clive, I would always recommend the Stride Foot Pod, but I know that's beyond a lot of people's budgets. Marcus, why don't you just run a kilometre out and then run a kilometre back and just keep doing that rather than... Because you seem to be doing like 200 metres round and round. It'll drive you crazy. Here he is again. You nutter.
Nice.
Okay, 12% elevation on the treadmill. 6 kilometres an hour. Let's turn the lights on. There we are.
Right on.
Clive Finnemore, thanks for the ride on. The Zwift Run Pod is perfectly okay if you're doing a steady state run. So, say you're just running at 10 kilometres an hour and not changing your speed at all, then the Zwift Run Pod is fine actually. But if you're doing interval sessions, if you're doing lots of changes of pace, progressive runs, then really the Zwift Run Pod can't keep up. And if you're a fairly quick runner as well, so anything over 14 or 15 kilometres per hour, and the Zwift Run Pod can't keep up with that either. But down at kind of 10, 11, 12 kilometres an hour, for steady running, the Zwift Run Pod is perfectly okay. But if you've got the money, get the Stride. Right, Ryan Downey seems to think this broadcast is comical today. Look, this is supposed to be a very serious training session. I'm a serious athlete starting a serious block of training work leading up to a very important race. There's nothing comical about this. This is hard work at its finest with a heart rate of 131. That's more like it, isn't it? Yes. I knew that was wrong at the beginning. So zone 2 of the heart rate, that's where we want it to be. Erroneous heart rate at the beginning put me way up at 160 something, which is stupid. So we'll try and keep it nice low heart rate. And I'll work a bit harder tonight outdoors. Clive Finnemore, Stride for Christmas, yes. Stride, so it's S-T-R-Y-D. How rude! Ryan Downey says, now I know you're full of rubbish. Can't believe it. The lack of respect. You wait, Downey, till you start streaming regularly. I am going to be on there every day, launching a tirade of abuse at you, constantly. You'll be a quivering wreck at the end of every stream. 1.5k done. Hello, Jonathan Cost.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, they're going to gang up on me now. Right, and it can be very depressing when you're working hard. I mean, not that I'm working that hard, but you know, I am running uphill. You're running uphill and all you can see is your lazy avatar strolling through a forest. And then I've got Marcus Holmes, who's started at the same time as me, if not a bit later than me, and has done 3.2 kilometres to my 1.5 kilometres. Anyway, about 24 minutes left of running, and we are approaching 200 metres of elevation. Look in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen there, 192 metres, gradually going up. So we're doing 500 metres of climb at the maximum incline of the treadmill, which is 12%. So the maths of that is, for every kilometre I run, I should climb 120 metres. So if we add all that together, 4 kilometres will give me 480 metres of climb. So I need to do a little bit more than 4 kilometres to get my 500 metres. Carl, yes, that is 12%. Sen Studio says, Marcus Holmes is actually providing the entertainment by doing his crazy loops around me. There he goes again. I should put my let's click on Marcus. When he comes back, I'll click on him. Hang on. Right, this is Marcus Holmes. So Marcus, by the way, if you don't know, if you're new to Zwift or if you haven't been with us very long or you haven't seen this stream very often, Marcus says my Strava map is going to be crazy. Marcus, as far as I am aware, has run more kilometres, more miles on Zwift than anyone else. Literally about, what are you on now, Marcus? Is it 10,000 kilometres? I'm on 4,600, and I know that Marcus has done about twice as much as me. So there he is, going round and round. Carl says trip him up. Actually, do you know what, Marcus? You're going to have a lovely loop, actually. Your stream, your Strava, is going to have lots of tiny little loops, making lots of little bows, isn't it? It's going to be a very pretty picture. And Marcus's heart rate is 150 BPM. So yes, Marcus says he passed 10,000 kilometres a while back. So he'll be on 10,300, 10,500, something like that. So well over twice what I've done on Zwift. And I say this all the time when I talk about Marcus. I mean, you guys know how much I'm on Zwift. I'm on Zwift almost every day. I may not run massive distances, so it's usually between 5 and 10k each time I'm on. But if you think of that, and then imagine how much Marcus must do. He is literally the Tim Searle of running on Zwift. Tim Searle is a cyclist on Zwift who has ridden more kilometres than anyone else, and he's ridden over 100,000 kilometres on Zwift. So we're still following Marcus. Let's give him a ride on, shall we? There we go. Marcus gets a ride on. So I'm approaching 2k now, so let's click back to me. There I am, 2k now. So let's go up to 6.5. This still won't get me running. So 6.5 kilometres per hour. Again, if you're new to Zwift and you don't know, your avatar will not run until 6.8 kilometres per hour. So I'll just show you that quickly. Here we are at 6.5. There's 6.6. There's 6.7. Aerial view now. So there I am, still walking. Let's turn to 6.8. And there we go. So we've started running. It's slightly different in the pens. If you are queuing up to start a race or a group run, you'll find that if you go to 5 kilometres per hour on the treadmill, you will start running. So 5 kilometres per hour when you're waiting in the pens, your avatar will run. But when you actually start the race or the group workout, you won't run until 6.8 kilometres per hour. So we're over halfway through, 16 minutes left. We will just add a little bit on to the end to make it up to 500 metres of climb. Heart rate is 139. So in zone 3, hopefully won't go into zone 4.
Ride on!
Wardle, thanks for the ride on. Right, if you are new to Zwift, here's how to get started. It's so easy to get set up with Zwift running. Here's what you need. Firstly, access to a treadmill. It could be at home or at the gym, but any treadmill will work with Zwift. To get you moving in game, we need a speed source. Traditionally, we use a foot pod like the Zwift pod or the Stride, but you can also use the Run Smart treadmill sensor, your Apple Watch, one of the newer Garmin watches, the TSS app, and if you have a smart treadmill, your treadmill will connect directly to Zwift without the need for another device. Now simply download the Zwift app onto a Mac, a PC, an iPhone, an iPad, an Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. Finally, pair your speed source in the app. Pairing heart rate from your watch or a chest strap is also a great addition to Zwift. And that's it. You're all set up for solo runs, solo or group workouts, challenges and real-time racing on Zwift with people from all over the world. Okay, 288 metres climbed. Marcus Holmes is pleasantly surprised that Zwift hasn't crashed on him. Because of the amount of U-turns he's doing. It's always more likely that your Zwift app will crash if you keep pressing too many buttons, especially on the computer. If you keep pressing your U-turns or whatever, at some point you're going to accidentally mash a key or something and your PC will get confused and it will crash the app. So once Zwift is loaded, best you can do if you can is just to leave it alone. Mind you, I do have these camera app angles pressing buttons all the time, so I can't really talk. 300 metres climbed now, 200 metres left to go. Marcus Holmes has done 5.4 kilometres, I've done 2.5 kilometres. Marcus is going more than twice as fast as I am. So along the bottom of the screen there you can see a red line, that's my heart rate, and then the grey shaded area is my pace. I'm quite dark, aren't I? I think it's because it's daylight. Yeah, quite dark on the screen. If I get closer, what happens if I get closer? Right, working hard. Heart rate is 138, 139, 140-ish. Just trying to stay relaxed as much as possible. But climbing a hill, you're always working. You know, even if you're going slowly, your leg muscles, your calf muscles are working hard. Up the hill, I'm running on my front foot. So I'm getting up on the balls of my toes, balls of my feet, using my calf muscles to do the climbing. Karl-Heinz Engel, thanks for the ride on. Marcus is on 6k now. I'm not on 3k yet. Ryan, I'm wearing my New Balance 1080s, which I've been wearing for ages. I've got two lots of 1080s. I've got this kind of reddish grey and red pair, or grey and orange pair, and then I've got a black and white pair. I tend to wear the black and white pair for outdoors on the road. I wear this pair for the treadmill, and then obviously I've got various pairs of trail shoes for trails. Right, coming up to 3k now. 1 kilometre left. So we're going to bash it up now to 7 kilometres per hour.
Right on.
Christoph, thank you very much, buddy. So you can see the countdown on the left hand side of the screen there. Kilometre 3, 8 minutes 58, 59, 9 minutes, so 13 seconds, 10 seconds, and then we're at 3k. 3, 2, 1, right, there we go. So up to 7 kilometres an hour now, still at 12% elevation on the treadmill, with 140 kilometres left to climb. So we'll need to do 20 more kilometres of elevation after we've reached 4k. As I said before, for every kilometre I do, I'm climbing 120 metres at 12% elevation. So 4 kilometres gives me 480 metres of climb. And it is getting tough. Heart rate is 145. Fingers crossed I don't go into the orange zone. We want to stay in zone 3. Ryan Downey says he's been testing the Peregrine Trail shoes from Saucony. I'm very impressed, he says. I've never had a pair of Saucony. Do you pronounce it Saucony? Or I think it is Saucony, isn't it? I've never had a pair of their shoes at all, road or trail. So speed has increased to 7 kilometres an hour. We've got 7 minutes left of running. Slightly earlier today because I'm going out with my running club at 6:30. So in just under an hour from now, I've got another hill session.
Right on.
Bannister, thank you. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen Lloyd's review. That's a mate I haven't seen for a while because of all the lockdown. Usually see Lloyd at 1 or 2 races. Oh, I missed what Marcus just said then. He said, I wonder if my Strava, and then it went off, I didn't see it all. Right, 400 metres climbed. Less than 100 to go now. 700 metres left of running, although I'm going to... So I'm going to try and do at least a couple of these sessions a week, certainly for the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then maybe try and do three sessions a week when we get closer to the run. So the South Downs Way 100 is in November. I think it's the 7th of November, something like that, early in November anyway. And it's got about 3,500 metres of ascent, so 10 to 12,000 feet of climbing. So we need to do some hill work. I'll obviously do some hill work outside, but we'll get some of it done indoors as well during these morning. I usually do them in the morning, so morning sessions on the treadmill. Usually do about 500 metres of climb 2 or 3 times a week. Heart rate 149. Come and join us whenever you can on a Zwift event. Go to the Zwift website, zwift.com/events, and filter for running. Choose a group workout, group session, a race, and come and join us on Zwift. You can also find events on the events tab in the Zwift companion app. So on your iPhone or your Android phone, you should have 2 apps. The main Zwift game, which is coloured orange, and the Zwift companion app, which is coloured blue. Go into that companion app, search for events, and scroll down to choose the event that you want to take part in. Click the little plus button, and that will register you for the event. Oh look! So there's the question mark, which takes us to the trail run. I don't think we're going to do much of it, but we may as well go on it for the first little bit. So Marcus, click the question mark of going on the trail run. But it's literally going to be about 500 metres of trail run. That's all. See if you can get 9 kilometres in by the time I finish, Marcus. I've got Lloyd Purvis on the brain now. Okay, probably about 400 metres of running left, so we may as well do that on the trail. So if you run along Titans Grove for about 4 kilometres, you come to this turn off, indicated by a question mark, and this is our trail running route. Oh no turnaround on the trail. Oh, sorry about that, Marcus. I forgot about that. That's my fault, Marcus. I should have realised. Sorry. Okay, 4 kilometres done. There we go. So we have about 20 metres left of climbing that we need to do. So let's just get that done.
Ride on.
Okay, thank you very much for the ride on. Marcus has 300 metres to go to get to 9k by the time I finish. 486 metres climbed. So I've got another 140 metres to do. No, 14 metres to do of climb. 12 metres of climb now. Nearly there. Marcus is pushing for 9k. 494 metres climbed. 6 metres to go. 5 metres to go. Come on, Marcus. $499. And there's 500 and exactly the same time. Look at that. Brilliant. So Marcus hit 9 kilometres at exactly the same time that I hit 500 metres of climb. Nice one, Marcus. Couldn't have timed that any better. Brilliant job. Oh. Okay, so 4 kilometres done. 2 of those kilometres in zone 2 and the other 2 in zone 3. Marcus says nice.
Nice.
And we've done just over 500 metres of climb. And that's it. So well done to Marcus, and thank you very much to him for providing the extra entertainment of this stream and also giving me a little bit of company as we ran. That's it from me today. I'm off with the club now to do an outdoor hill session. Marcus says that was crazy and idiotic, but fun doing the circles. I'm interested to see your Strava map after this, Marcus. And we'll be back tomorrow. I've not any idea what's tomorrow. What day is it tomorrow? Wednesday. So Wednesday workout, isn't it? So probably a hard effort tomorrow. We'll get the heart rate up there. We've had a couple of days of relative ease, so we need to do 1 or 2 sessions this week where the heart rate goes ballistic. So top of zone 4, maybe even into zone 5 if we can. So that will probably I'll give Group A Wednesday workout a go tomorrow and see how we get on with that. But that's it for today. Thank you very much, everybody, for taking part. Thanks for your chat on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Sen Studio. Jonathan Costa. Oh, I've missed a post from Jonathan. On the recommended websites you mentioned on your streams, you have checked. Have you checked Zwift Hub? Yeah, I know about Zwift Hub. I haven't got it listed because it's essentially part of Zwift Hacks. Oh yeah, no, so Zwift Hub, well, the reason I haven't included Zwift Hub before is because they didn't used to do the running routes, but he has since, I think it's Mark, isn't it, who runs Zwift Hub, they have since added the running routes. So at some point I will add Zwift Hub to that set of recommended websites, yes. So yes, that's that. Okay, good. Right, we're off. Take care, guys. Thanks very much again for your chat. Andrew Cutmore as well. He says hello and hope you're well. Hope you're well too, Andrew. We'll see you tomorrow for Wednesday workout, probably 7:30 UK time tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.